Go! Now!
I like this car. I like this car. I like this car. I like your gun.
I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. I'll be back. Get out. He'll live.
Say, that's a nice bike.
The Terminator started it all, but the very first could have finished it. He missed a key opportunity to stop Sarah Connor and Reese and complete his mission early on. In the original movie, during the car chase, the Terminator slammed into a concrete wall and mysteriously disappeared. There were only 4 squad cars there, perhaps 8 cops. So why didn't he attack these 8 cops and kill Reese and Sarah? The cops were holding them both at gunpoint. They couldn't run. The Terminator's car was less than 20 feet away from Sarah and Kyle, but he abandoned it. He couldn't have flown through the windshield into a ravine because he hit a concrete wall. He would have had to go left or right to disappear. Maybe he could have skulked down through a manhole cover. But why? He should have no fear of the cops. Sure, he was damaged, but he only had a few cosmetic fixes to make. He went on that night to kill 17 policemen. So I'm going to mark this a miss for that scene. That is the first place where the Terminator could have killed both of them, but didn't. In Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the T-1000 had an easy job. He arrived late at night. He knew where John Connor lived because he got it from a squad car. All he had to do was wait. So what was the Terminator doing all night? Had he immediately traveled to the home, even if it meant arriving late, mission would be accomplished. John Connor terminated in his residence while sleeping. In Terminator 3, we have the disturbing Hollywood trope of powerful machines choosing a show of force rather than terminating people. I'm not sure whether this is peculiar to the Terminator franchise or not. The female TX android was incredibly efficient at immediately going for the kill. In one night, she eliminated a number of John Connor's future comrades. As soon as she made contact with them, bam, they were dead. She would kill people who might be her target, like the dog owner at the animal hospital. But when she got to Catherine Brewster, she did shoot at her initially, but missed. But then when she chased her and caught her, again, having her dead to rights, there was no way to get away. What did she do to her? Did she snap her neck? No. Did she shoot her? No. She tossed her far out of her truck instead of killing her. This is a show of force I'm talking about. This is a transitioning tool that is used far too much in this franchise, and I believe others, but I can't think of another franchise that does this. If you can, in the comments, please let me know. I'm going to throw you over there, and then I'm going to swagger my way there, and then kill you. Well, maybe I'll throw you again. In her defense, you might say that the TX didn't immediately kill Catherine because she intended to interrogate her about John Connor, which he did. But if that were the case, he wouldn't have shot her first. And that was after finding John's DNA. Also, the T-850 Terminator would not have been able to save Brewster if the TX hadn't stood there, not even ducking when the T-850 ran her over with a truck. She saw the truck coming. Even Catherine saw the truck coming, but the TX stood there. When the truck slammed into the TX, she just rode along with the truck instead of reacting at all. There was a huge explosion when the truck knocked the parked car into some tanks, which incapacitated the TX for a long time long enough for the Terminator to have a conversation with Catherine Brewster, and long enough for John Connor to escape, long enough for the Terminator to have a conversation with John Connor. Again, the T-850 was no match for the TX, and if she didn't allow herself to be incapacitated for so long, she could have taken him out and taken out Catherine Brewster, and of course John Connor. The movie could have ended here. Later on, the T-850 was corrupted by the TX, and he warned John Connor that he had no control of his motor functions. He was coming there to kill him. But when he put his hands on John, he merely threw him and gave John time to talk him down. He threw him repeatedly. When Catherine Brewster jumped on his back, he just flung her off, knocking her out. He could have killed her. Once any Terminator gets his hands on you, you should be dead shortly after. It can kill you in a number of crushing ways without a weapon. There is an example of this when the first T-101 acquired his clothing. They don't need weapons or time to kill you. In Terminator Salvation, why were there even harvesters? The whole goal of Skynet was to wipe out humanity. This harvester vaporized people. This thing could have probably vaporized Optimus Prime, but it harvested others. Kyle Reese did explain to Sarah in 1984 that they were marked for orderly termination. I don't understand why Skynet would want to orderly terminate people, but it did. But if that harvester had simply vaporized young Kyle Reese instead of capturing him, he wouldn't have escaped and fathered John Connor. Movie over. But Kyle Reese got away only to be flung off a bridge. In this photo, we see Kyle Reese, the father of John Connor, falling to his death before meeting Sarah. There was no way he would survive this fall. If gravity does its thing, Kyle dies. Skynet wins. History is rewritten. But the harvester almost heroically catches him midair and collects him, saving him. Dropping him into a basket of humans it for some reason doesn't want to let die. The movie could have also ended here. Here we see John Connor surprised by a T-600. It's damaged, it doesn't have a lower half, but at the very least, the T-600 could crush John Connor's clavicle before proceeding to take Connor apart. What does it do? It flings John away. They struggle. John shoots it in the face with a machine gun, which is a nice touch in all Terminator movies. But it's to no avail. It gets the better of John and crawls on top of him. What does it do when it has John at its mercy? Does it shove his fist through his chest? Does it crush his throat? Does it snap his neck? No. It flings him away. This time toward a mounted 50 cal machine gun, which John uses to terminate the Terminator. Later in that same movie, John Connor is stalked by a Model T-something 100 in a Terminator factory. The T-something 100 tries to kill him, but when the Terminator catches him, it throws him around again, giving John time to defeat him. The logical defense for these implausible tactics of Terminators is to argue that it built tension for the audience. Well, barely getting away repeatedly, as Kyle Reese did in Terminator Genisys, was a higher, more effective form of tension. I mean, in that scene, Kyle Reese was scrambling and barely getting away from a huge Terminator that was trying to stab him, grab him, hit him, everything. And that was a lot better than it actually catching him and then throwing him away. Because basically, what happens when the monster catches you and then doesn't kill you? Each time you make that monster less dangerous. Think about the Alien franchise. When that monster gets to you, you are dead. If it doesn't catch you to throw you around and then come play with you, it just gets you. It boils down to choreography. But some writers feel that the details of action, the dance of this fight, is not as important as the context of the action. But what people want are Captain America Winter Soldier fights. They thought them through, they planned it out, they blocked it out. You want to get from one action point to another, and how do you get there? Being flung there is just kind of cheap. But when shooting an action movie, the action has to make sense. And as much grief as Terminator Genisys, and especially Dark Fate got, they did a good job with a relentless approach. It was going to get you, and when it got you, there was going to be no throwing around. It was just going to kill you. With the Terminator, the stakes are so high that we overlook it more than we would in most movies. But this, at least for me, is not without limits. What do you think? Am I being too harsh here? Let me know in the comments. Please also like and subscribe.
I'll be back. I'm a friend of Sarah Connor.
Another tumor.
Get out. Hasta la vista. Baby. I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. Still live. Baby.
I like this car.
It's not a tumor.
I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. I'm a friend of Sarah Connor.
Another tumor. At all.
I'll be back. Baby. Get out. Still live.
I swear I will not kill anyone.
Say, that's a nice bike.